Welcome to my very first vlog of 2019. And actually it's my very first vlog ever. I've made a few videos there on the channel. Some are chatty, some are lessons. And but I decided that I'm ready to start something regular. So we're gonna see how that goes. So I am Heidi, and I am a creativity coach. And what that means is that I teach other people how to find creativity in their lives. So far on my website and on the channel, and even in my in-person classes that I've done, I've focused a lot on yarn crafts, which is like knitting and crochet and things like that, but creativity is a lot more than just working with yarn and fiber arts. That just happens to be where my passion and experience lies, and a gateway for me to be able to talk about being creative with other people. And I find as I encounter a lot of other women, I can usually convince them, or they will come to me asking how to knit or crochet or do something similar with yarn. It's something that feels doable to them. And that makes sense. It's a good place to start to explore in your creativity. It's affordable. It doesn't take a lot of tools, and you can do it pretty much anywhere. So fiber arts has been a starting point, a place that I can begin talking about being creative in our lives. But that's my mission. My mission isn't necessarily to teach only knitting or only crochet or only whatever other courses I get going. My mission is to spread creativity, and I really hope that I can do that. So a little bit about me. I have 7 children, and I love them so much, and we homeschool, and it's really great. My oldest is 17, and she is studying to take her GED, so that's exciting. It's exciting to see the fruits of our labors begin to happen and that everything is working out. And then I have many age ranges. They're all spaced about 2 years apart. And then my youngest is just turned 4. So we have pretty much the whole spectrum, every grade level happening, and it's quite a lot of fun. In the mix, I have 5 girls and 2 boys. And the 2 boys are split in that there's 3 girls in between them. So, yeah, the boys feel a little bit overwhelmed by girls sometimes. But we live on just over 6 acres in Idaho, and we raise goats and chickens, and we have a few dogs, some of which are just family dogs. Other dogs are for the purpose of guarding the livestock. So we also have a couple of cats, of course. And let's see, what else? Another unique thing about us is that we share our home with another family who has 6 kids. So we have a really busy house going on, and there is a lot of noise you might hear in the background sometimes when I'm videoing. I have a small room in the basement where it is my space, my place, and I've taken it for my own. Now we keep a lot of other things in here as well, and the kids have access from time to time, especially my girls who are crafty, but they have to ask. So, that being said, I don't have a studio where it's possible for me to have perfect light and perfect sound and a place where there's not going to be any background noise. So I'm not going to apologize for this. This is just life. And hopefully it won't distract too much. I do try to find times, excuse me, where it is more peaceful before I record, and I do have a sign stuck with Velcro on my door, and it's like red light, green light, so all the little kids can understand when it's a red light, don't knock on the door or try not to scream in the hall, and all that kind of stuff. What else? Okay. One other thing I suppose would be good to get out of the way and mention is, and that also I guess some of you might be able to identify with and decide whether or not you want to follow my vlog, and that is that I do suffer from some chronic illness, and that can keep me from doing things from time to time. So hopefully, I hope I can get a video out every week. Sometimes they might not be as great as other times, and my chronic illness has to do with a severe allergy condition called mast cell activation syndrome, and while I have a list of specific things I'm allergic to, I also can spontaneously have allergic reactions where I'll get flushing and hives, and I can go into anaphylaxis. So that is a struggle that I've been working on the last couple years with my doctors, and we've been trying to find a balance, and we're working there. We're getting there. I'm on some medications that do help with that, but it's important for me to note this because I would much prefer, and actually when I started teaching, I started advertising to go and teach people in their homes, and I wanted to start collecting groups of people and do classes at the library and have groups of people at their homes and wherever, and where we could learn specific skills and or just discuss how to bring more creativity into our lives, and where we could build a network of support together. But at the same time that I was kind of starting to get that going, and I taught a couple of classes, my chronic illness began to show itself a little more forcefully. And so due to my sensitivities, it is not very good for me to just go to random people's homes or to expect that much of myself, because I may not be able to finish. So after a lot of thinking about it and praying about it, I was shown that I have another way. We live in a wonderful dispensation where we have all this technology, and so I can still reach many people. I can still speak with you and teach you, and I can do this in the comfort of my own home, on my own time schedule when I'm feeling well. And if I begin feeling unwell, I can stop recording and I can start recording again later, and it's all fine, and we can edit out any bad parts. But at the same time, I do need to note here that I'm a real person, and I'm not too picky on making things totally perfect. So I guess I can add in there too that I might mention sometimes I am training a service dog for myself, and I'll show him sometime, and he's super cute. He's 6 months old, and he is a Labradoodle. So this is actually my second attempt to train a service dog. I started off with a different puppy and trained her for a year, and she did really well. But we just didn't bond the way we needed to. She was kind of funny, even though my attempts to like make her only a bond to me as much as possible, she bonded with my husband a lot. So she was more geared towards males, I guess, her personality, and so she would do things for me if I asked them of her, but she did them grudgingly. She wasn't super happy to do it, and she was a small breed dog. I started with a small breed because I have so many children, and it's, you know, we need to be able to travel and go places, and my car is already really full. So I started with a small breed. That didn't work out, and after some praying and some guidance and direction, came to the decision that I needed to try again with a Labradoodle, and so far he is fantastic. He's only 6 months old, and he is already alerted to me twice without formally being trained to alert to me when I'm having a allergic reaction. So that's really amazing. I don't want to, that could be a whole different video, whole different channel if I wanted to, but I don't know that we're there yet. So the topic that I wanted, besides introducing this vlog, I wanted to say and answer the question, the title of what gets me up in the morning. And so now you know a little bit about my background and what's happening. You can see why that question could be important. Like probably you and many other people, I have a lot of things on my plate, and sometimes that can weigh really heavy. And so sometimes it can be hard to be inspired to begin a new day. I have had my own struggles throughout different times of my life and for different reasons. I mean, I can list off things. My husband was in the Army for a long time, and he did 4 deployments, and I had babies during those times, and he would be gone for a year. Those times were very difficult to be able to get up out of bed in the morning and face the day, the everyday, the same, and being alone and having a new baby and all of those things, those stresses that come into life. I had my last 2 children. They were both preemies, and we had hospital stays, and I had postpartum depression. There was all kinds of things going on there. Now I struggle with this chronic illness. A lot of stuff happens physically and emotionally with that. So, those are the things that keep me in my bed. When we let those things overwhelm us, or sometimes we just aren't physically able to get moving for the day, and that's okay. But that's really where this started, in that I was in a place about 2 years ago where I couldn't leave my bedroom without having a major allergic response. Or just being so physically ill when I moved that it was just difficult. And I began to lose purpose because I no longer was able to be the mom that I wanted to be, the wife that I wanted to be. I couldn't go outside and garden and go for walks, things that I love outside in nature. I began to lose things that I enjoyed. Oftentimes I had too bad of a migraine to even be able to enjoy reading books. And that's when I turned to my yarn again. I actually picked up yarn again. I think that should be in my Meet Heidi think I shared a little bit about that. But anyway, and I'll probably go into it more later too. But when my babies were in the NICU, there wasn't anything else to do, and I picked up yarn, and that just kept me busy. It kept me focused. It gave me something tangible that I had control over. And so when we get into those places, we really need something that inspires us to move on with our day. You can get sucked into such deep, dark places. And I know so many people and so many women who've been there and are there now. And that's part of my mission as well, is to be able to pull you out of those places through the avenue of creativity. So, when I first started being able to pull myself out of those places, I had to start with one thing. What's one thing I can do today? What's one way I can feel accomplished? What's one way I can feel that I have worth, that I have a place? The biggest thing, of course, is that you seek after those things that are higher than you, that you find your place with God, that we are praying and we are seeking for that help, and we are reading our scriptures and doing those things that are uplifting to us and inspiring us, because we can't do it by ourselves, and that's the biggest thing. And I know that, and I know that I can't do my everyday by myself, and every day I lean on my Father in heaven to help me through. And one way that he does that is or has done that, is by giving me gifts and talents. And by cultivating those gifts and talents, I give myself something that I feel I can give to the world. And when you don't feel like you have anything that you can give to the world, that's when you find yourself in dark places. And it started off being, what can I give to my children? What can I do for them? Okay, let's see. If it's winter time and I don't feel good and I can't get out of bed, can I handle knitting a hat today? Does somebody need a new pair of mittens? I can do those things. I made my husband a couple of hats. Journaling, would write things down. And I'm sorry, I'm getting a little scattered. I'm having a little brain fog right now, but I do have a list in front of me of things I wanted to talk about. But the things that inspire me to get out of bed and to move forward with my day is, at least as much as possible, the things that I need is to feel like I have something to give, even though it may be little. So I discussed how we have another family that's living with us. Part of that is because they have struggles, and we can lend support by giving them a place to be. And then the other reason is that we have struggles. I have struggles, and by having our friends here, my friend, she takes on a lot of the household things, and it really helps me so much. But sometimes, because I'm quite an independent person, and being ill has been really hard for me, and I've had to learn a lot of lessons about depending on other people and delegating and being okay with that. And so sometimes it can get hard for me knowing, what am I going to give? What can I give? If I'm not able to go out and help make a meal, what can I do? And So finding how I can use my skills at being creative has helped me have purpose within my own home. I'm very good at organizing things. So I've done all the chore lists for all the children. I've done the menus for our cooking. Those are things that I can do, and they don't take physical exertion or being in places that may cause me to have problems. Alright, I feel a little bit like I've gone down a rabbit hole of Heidi's long list of I don't know, whatever you would call it, Heidi's long list of problems, and I don't want to go there. That's not what I want this to be about. But I do feel like sometimes it's important to know what other people go through, so that you can know that you can handle things too. And I'm trying to be very careful about the information I share too. So, but if you have questions, I'd be glad to communicate with you privately. So I'm going to move on now. I'm going to move on to the things that really excite me, inspire me, because those other topics, as you could probably tell, they kind of just pull me down and weight me down, because it is something that I struggle with. And so I was beginning to get yanked into a sad part of my life, and I want to move forward into the happy things of my life. We just had a wonderful holiday, wonderful Christmas, and we're starting a brand new year. So these things get me out of bed. These things, new goals, new purposes, new desires. I bought myself a new toy. Let's see if I can turn the camera. Let's see here. There it is. This is a drum carder. If you're not a fiber person, you may not know what that is, but it's a drum carder. And it's going to help me be able to process, there we go, process the fleeces that we get off of some of our goats. Some of our goats are fiber goats, and that is for my purpose. We have goats for the purposes of eating down the weeds outside, and also of providing food and like milk for us. But I needed them to also represent me, and so we have some fiber that I get to play with. And I have tried and tried and tried, and it was apparent that I needed some more tools. So I finally splurged and I bought this drum carder, and it's amazing, and I'm really excited as I move forward in learning. I've been learning a lot, and it's going to be able to help me to teach more about processing fibers and about spinning in the future. So that's exciting. My husband got me a acoustic guitar for Christmas. Let's see if I can show that to you. There it is. And, well, I don't necessarily have the time to add something. Woo, there we go. Add something else to my plate. I am excited to try and to learn it a little bit, and I expressed a desire to learn because my grandma passed away a few months ago. And something that I learned about her that I never knew is that when she was young, she learned to play the guitar, and she used to sing. And people used to tell her that she should go to Nashville. And through my entire life, I never knew she played the guitar or sang. And then I asked my dad, and he had very vague memories of her doing that when he was very young. But at some point, she stopped. And that's a point I want to, and the reason I want to do it is kind of to dedicate it to her, to go, you didn't have to stop. we get so busy being moms that we forget about the things that we love and what brings joy in our life. And sometimes we do put things down for a little while, and that's okay. But it's important not to forget about them. And I've always wanted to learn to play the acoustic guitar. I played trumpet in band when I was in school, and I played the baritone, and it was okay, but I always wanted to learn to play the guitar. So I'll probably talk about that more in another vlog. But what inspired me to learn was my grandma. And so because I have that inspiration, I can do it, even if I'm just practicing 5 minutes every day. So that's what I'm going to do. And there's so many amazing tools to learn so many things, and anything you want to learn now out there for free on YouTube and everywhere else. And sometimes not free if you want more detailed, but still very affordable. So there's no excuses. You can learn anything that we want to do. The other thing that I did was that I bought some new books, because I love books. Let's see. And as I'm panning the camera around here, I guess you can get a peek at my tiny little room a little bit too. And it's not very pretty. Sorry. But so over here we are. There's my shelf of books. And that's just ones that are kind of geared towards yarn and stuff like that. I have a lot more books around the house. We don't have enough bookcases to keep all of our books. But I love learning from books. So here's one that I got. It's Yarn and Texture by Jillian Moreno. And it's teaching me all about processing fibers and how to get the texture and color and all that I want out of it. And which is good, because my word, you ready? My word for 2019 is intention. I'm doing things, thinking about what I want the outcome to be, and I am doing things with more intention. And so I am taking notes and I am planning, and so that there I can have more success. The other book that I found, I didn't mean to, but it was on sale on Amazon, was The Hand-Dyed and Variegated Yarn. This is Techniques and Projects for Hand-Painted and Multicolored Yarn by Lorna Meiser. This is really awesome. I'm so glad I picked up this book. It goes through, let's see if I can find a good sample here to picture to show you. Go back to the beginning. It talks about using multicolored yarn and how to create beautiful designs with them, especially, or how to know how the colors are going to line up or how they're going to pool. And anyway, it's something that's interesting me right now, so I'll probably talk about it more later after I learn more. And then my husband got me a 500 crochet stitch dictionary, and this is a tool and resource for me to be able to write more patterns to share and teach, and for me to learn. I already learned one really neat stitch. Let's see, I should grab that. Grab it. We have a lady at church who's going to have a baby very shortly, and we're going to have a baby shower for her, so I wanted to make a quick baby gift, and I had this pretty flannel fabric. You just need an edging, so I stitched around it, and I did this cute little crocheted edging, and it is a what is it called? I totally have a blank mind right now. I should just find it in there. But anyway, it's really fun. edging, it just kind of gives it a almost a rope look along the edge. And I apologize, I'll figure out what that's called, but I'll probably do a tutorial on it sometime, so it'll appear again some way, somehow. So I've done that, and you probably saw that I put out the last minute crochet stocking. So I put that out right at Christmas time, and I made all those stockings. And what else have I been doing? I guess we've moved on into my whips and finishes and fun part of the vlog, and that's, so if you aren't a yarny person, whips are works in progress. So things I'm working on right now. I'm still working on finishing the mittens I talked about in a couple of the other videos. Let's see. These mittens right here that I did with the yarn that I got from one of the yarn boxes that I was subscribing to. So here's the other one. I have to go back and do some fixing on the cuff. It shrank too much. Somewhere I decreased too many stitches, so I have to go back, and then I need to do the thumb. So, and this is going to be a really cool pattern that I'm excited to get written up. Since seeing as the second mitten ended up having a problem, I have to find the problem, and I'll have to do another sample to make sure I get that pattern right. And I should note there too, since this is vlog 1, I'd like to also note that I'm not a professional pattern writer. Shh. Okay, so, but please let me know if you've downloaded some of my patterns and you find a mistake. Please just let me know, and I will do my best at fixing that. I do try to make several samples, or even give one to my friend to be able to make from the pattern, to check the pattern, make sure it's okay. And I try to keep things as simple as possible. So just let me know if I messed up, and I will fix it, or I will take it down until I can fix it. Yeah, oh, and I got one more Yarn Yay box. I'm not doing the unboxings anymore right now. I might do it again when I do a different subscription box, but I forgot before Christmas to cancel my Yarn Yay. So I got the December Yarn Yay, so I didn't do an unboxing for it because I'm all done doing those, but here's the pretty yarn that came in it, and it came with a mitten pattern. And like I said in my other unboxings, I'm kind of stubborn about patterns, and I don't just do a pattern just to do it. So I don't know if I'll do that pattern, but I do really love these yarns. They're very, very pretty. Let's see. What else do I have that's happening? I think we went over a little bit of my fun with my drum carder. Here, I know I can just show some finishes of some of my spun yarns after playing with it. So this is a little bit of Shetland wool. I had a fleece that I bought off of Craigslist, and I was experimenting with it because I don't have sheep, I have goats, but it's very nubby. I don't think it's very good quality Shetland, but after being able to process it a little better, I did get a nicer yarn than the first time I tried to spin with it. So we'll see. I'm going to continue to experiment with that. I also, the other source for fiber that I have is down the road. My neighbor has alpaca, and they are a red-brown, let me just grab something, colored alpaca. Here's their color right here. Here's their color. And so I've been experimenting with dyeing it different colors. I can get darker colors. I really like this kind of maroon color that turned out. And I just use food coloring dyes. I watch Rebecca from ChemKnits a lot about her dyeing processes. I enjoy her YouTube videos. And I watch other crafting videos too. But, and then this, so yes, I've been experimenting with that. And so Pygora is one of the type of goats that I have, and they're a mix between an Angora and a pygmy goat. And they keep basically kind of kid mohair type fiber throughout their whole adult lives. They don't get coarse like Angora goats. I do have an Angora goat, but he's old. Anyway, so this yarn here I spun from Pygora Kid, which is very soft and not like mohair at all, just very soft but very fine. And I mixed it, I played with my drum carder and mixed it with some silk, silk recycled things that I got from Darn Good Yarn. And that was fun, and it enabled it to dye up pretty good. And then I dyed the yarn. And I did two experiments. One was I dyed it as a yarn, and I dyed one as a bat before I spun it. So if any of these words, I know if you're not a fiber person, you're watching this just for the purpose of creativity or knitting and things like that, you might not know all these vocabulary terms, but keep watching and you'll learn about them. So I'm not going to stop and go over every single word right now. So like bat and all that stuff, I will do a fiber course at some point, and then I'll talk about that. But that's just what I have done going on. And I think the next thing that I can talk about just a little bit is, and the very last thing is some announcements. So aside from starting a vlog, the other announcement is that I finally figured out MailChimp, and I got some sign-up forms up on the website, and I haven't sent out any emails yet, and it's coming. And I don't plan to send out a lot. It's mostly I'll send out emails when I have a new pattern or a new lesson course or something else to announce. It would be, I'm not gonna spam you with emails. So, but sometimes I might send out surprises there. So you should go sign up for my emails, and maybe sometime I'll get those figured out. So I'm growing my mail list, and if you are getting the email, because I made a list of people who've already registered on the site or have downloaded patterns from me, and if you're getting the email but you don't want to, just go to the bottom and unsubscribe. It's fine. Nobody's going to force you to receive the emails. But that is, go unsubscribe after I send you an email, because I haven't sent any emails yet. But that's coming. I will probably send one out announcing that I'm going to do this vlog. So, let's see. And what other announcements? Okay. This one's pretty exciting, but I have to be careful because I'm not ready to say everything about it yet. We have been developing a certain tool for actually the last year or so, because maybe even longer than that. I wanted to make this tool to share with other people, and I did a class once with how to use it, and it was really popular, and people were really amazed, and they wanted one, but maybe they weren't as handy as my husband is, or their husband wasn't as handy, and so they wanted just to be able to buy one. And excuse me, they didn't know where to get one, or there aren't a whole lot to choose from out there. And I know I'm being very clouded in my information right now, but that's on purpose. But I will show you. It's a tool for weaving, okay? And I'm not a weaver per se. I don't have big fancy looms, I don't have whatever, but this tool is for doing a simple type of weave because I had a desire to make rugs for my house and other things that had that type of a woven texture fabric. I've now discovered that it can make some really cool things that aren't rugs. And I'm hoping to build a whole course around it. I'm going to give you a sneak peek here of a sample that I made with this tool that I'm not mentioning at the moment. But here it is. This is a little sample, and this is made with some of my hand spun. And it's really nice. It's double-sided. And I think if this were full size, it would make a very nice rug. This is a sample. I have different, it's made a different way on this part than it is on this part. But there you go. There's a sneak peek on, oh, and this piece literally took me like probably 15 minutes to weave on the special tool that we're building to share with you. You know, the setup time and then the finishing time adds to that, of course, a little bit. So, but it doesn't take very long to create a nice piece of fabric on this fun new weaving tool. And so make sure you hit that subscribe button and wait for us to be able to announce the release of it. And as I get closer to releasing it, I will begin to share what it is, of course, and show pictures of it and of what I've been making with it. So, but I'm looking to be able to put it out there probably in February towards the end or something. So in a couple weeks, I'll probably start talking about it a little more, especially after I'm going to go sign up to teach a class at the library in February. They're having Education Week. And so I'm going to go do a class there to sort of promote it a bit. And that's really exciting. So I think that's all. I don't know, I feel kind of weird because I'm not used to talking to the camera for so long and rambling along, and I hope I didn't bore you. And hopefully in the future I'll have more things to talk about, or more, you know, hopefully we can keep this interesting. You know, I just really woke up the other morning and had that title in my head of what gets me up in the morning. And I felt like I needed to share that. And I've been procrastinating. I should have made the video yesterday. And then I wasn't going to do it today because I wasn't feeling very good. But I felt like I really needed to get it done. So, now you know what gets me up in the morning is having a goal and a purpose for my day. And having something inspiring that I want to complete and do. And being able to feel like I can present myself to the world in a way that is putting into it, not just taking out of it. So, I would love to hear, comment below what gets you up in the morning, what motivates you, or what keeps you in bed. What things do you struggle with? If you'd like to share, I'd love to hear that. And thank you so much. If you've made it through this whole video, thank you so much for watching it. If you haven't been over to my website yet, I encourage you to take a look. It's a work in progress. I built it up from the ground and I've learned how to build a website, and I think it's going pretty good. And I've got a few things on there, and I've got some knitting lessons and some crochet lessons for beginners. Although I've gotten a little bit better at my tutorial videos since those first videos I made, so I'm hopeful to go back and remake some of those. But for now, that's what's there. And thank you so much for watching and supporting, and I hope we can continue to adventure together and explore the world of creativity and see what we can learn. Happy day!